Hey YouTube, welcome to part 2 of the Help for Heroes Salamander Armies project that I'm working on, doing the Terminators. I just finished doing the bases. Like I said, these were urban rubble bases I casted in the past, and I was going to make them into volcanic bases, but then I talked to Nick from IDIC Beer, or IDIC Beer, and explained to me that everyone wants to have these like a muddy, rocky base with black rings, so that's not a problem. I just carved them down. I have my little station set up here. Got a shot vac, so I was running the resin debris being vacuumed up as soon as I was doing it with my Dremel. And you see below here, I don't know if you can see down there, I have a foot pedal, so it's kind of easier to carve away. So carved away any of the tiles and the pipes that were in there. So this is like this rocky outcroppings, and each one does have a skull still. I'm leaving that on. This is my little trademark. And I think skulls are very appropriate for 40K anyways. Those will be going on the cork soon, going downstairs to get primed. Then I'm going to be airbrushing them black, then painting them up from there. Make sure you get the ring nice and perfect. I hate brush strokes and stuff on rings, so those will be nice and nice solid black coating on those. And we'll get that muddy look and probably do some little bit of water effects where it looks like we had water and mud accumulate. Over here on the Terminators themselves, drilling out a barrel, had a mishap. Had you green stuff a new section on there, turned out okay. So save that. I don't know how many times I've drilled barrels out. You always have that one time the plastic just gives or something like that. We have, so I'm going to set this down. Oops. We have the Sergeant. I got that invulnerable little thing put on there to also signify he's the Sergeant too. So he'll be easy to deal with. And then what else did I got going? I'm probably going to put some kind of shoulder stuff on him too to signify him. I sculpted that little piece of lizard skin I discussed for the assault cannon. And you see here that in the background, sorry about that. And that'll be epoxied on the bottom of the barrel. It's got like a piece of skin, and I'll paint that up and probably rough up the back a little bit, make it look like it's been peeled off of some creature. I stripped down the Cyclone missile launcher. I didn't like how the scales were turned on that. I'm going to do a new attempt at that. And also, this was a piece of resin that I don't think it was clean. I was having a hard time sticking to it, so I scrubbed it real thoroughly last night, let it dry. So that'll turn out pretty good too. So that'll just be this section of part 2. When we come back, probably do some more of the base stuff. And I'll pull back again and to show you. And probably by the end of this thing, the bases will be nearly complete, or base coated at least. And then we're going to go and start airbrushing the Terminators themselves. Well, as usual, thank you for joining me. We'll see you in the next section. Hey YouTube, I am back. We are continuing on with part 2. This will probably be the end of part 2. Everything's base coated. I did a zenithal highlighting on all the Terminators. 4 levels of green. Well, actually a green to a yellow. Then I went back in and filtered it with scorpion green from Vallejo. I thinned it out. And instead of having the really harsh, dark shadows, it kind of filtered it and kind of blended it all together. I think it turned out pretty nice. Let's see if I can. You can see it goes from a dark into a nice, bright green. And all that will be knocked back too, because there'll be some washes and done and details. Here's that little lizard thing I was telling you about. It's kind of perfect on that Deathwing Terminator assault cannon. It had those ropes, so I just shaved those down. Then just had a green stuff and epoxied it on, so it should be nice and solid. Watch as it pops right off. The Sergeant got his halo on there, and I got some blue tack on his face. I want the least amount of detail taken away from they're very light coats of airbrush paint, obviously, but the better detail in there, the better to work with when I paint it. And here are the bases. They're basically been prime black. Then went in some muddy brown and some other browns, and I've been highlighting them a little bit with different. Let's see if I can pull these guys out of the way real quick. And like Nick from Idic Beer said, these are supposed to be muddy. So these will be kind of rocky and muddy with a little bit dry patches on top. I think they turned out really nice. The Dremel tool just really made real easy work of it. And then we'll do some little wet patches and stuff like that, and they each have a skull. And I think that color will be good because I put a little bit of a red on one of the eyebrow, on one of the dry brush layers. I did some reddish brown color. What did I do? I did Parasite Brown by Vallejo. So it'll kind of pull that contrast with the greens out, and it'll make them pop. I still haven't done the bases. Will be black on the rings, but that'll be the last thing I do. I'll be airbrushing that on. So that'll be the end of this update in part 2, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.